Oh, cool.
In half of a
2
mile,
likes when I come up in here.
turn onto I-405 North.
3 likes, 0 watchers, huh? So it went from 2 to 3 likes without nobody watching. Dope. Anyway, let me get into it. Y'all know what it is. It's Tyrant's Bane, aka Snapzilla Gorilla. Welcome to the definition of anarchy. And I'm going to talk about this afternoon on November 1st, 2021, on a Monday. I'm going to talk about the why would someone,
North.
why would an American, why would a United States citizen cape for the Biden administration in regards to giving reparations to illegal immigrants? Why would, especially a black person, why would anybody, including black people, cape for the Biden administration and try to euphemize their way out of explaining what the heck is going on? Why would they do that? I'm going to talk about specifically black woman views, okay? Black woman views. She has a YouTube channel. I forgot her name, Niecy something. I think it's Niecy or Celie or something like that. No disrespect for butchering her name. But I was watching ABL's video about somebody going against people who have a problem with Joe Biden, the Biden administration, giving illegal immigrants $450K per person and up to $1 million per person. Excuse me. And I watched her video. I watched her reaction on ABL's video, and I was like, okay. So basically, she's saying that the Biden administration isn't giving the immigrants reparations. She's saying it's a settlement program for the illegal immigrants who were separated by their families by the Trump administration. All right, that's what she's saying. But at this point, it's just semantics, right? ABL is correct. That is reparations. When you settle, when you have caused damages to somebody and you have to pay for those damages, you're performing restitution. You are repaying someone. That is reparations. You're repairing the damage you caused financially. That's what reparations is. So right off the bat, she's full of shit. Okay, I'm not gonna be as coof or polite as ABL was. You know what I'm saying? And then I have some things to disagree with ABL on in that video as well. So I'll be touching on both. Now, she goes on to talk about, we have a problem. Black people have been trying to get reparations for slavery for a very long time. And she's saying that they're trying to, people trying to juxtapose the two situations are wrong. But in reality, we're not wrong, right? Because you're calling what the illegal immigrants are getting, you're calling that part of a lawsuit. Well, how many lawsuits have been placed against the United States government for slavery? Huh? How many times has that happened? I'm pretty sure there are multiple groups trying to sue the United States government for reparations. All right? Petitions, lawsuits, all that type of shit. So to sit up here and act like, oh, well, it's not the same type of situation, or they're not looking out for the immigrants before they look out for the black folks, you're completely incorrect. And then she's saying that it's not true that, they're looking out for illegal immigrants before they look out for black people. She's saying that's not true. Well, point to me where the Biden administration did anything or even tried to do anything specifically for black people. Can somebody do that? She can't do it because they're not even doing shit for the American people as a whole. Just like ABL said, they have not put forth any legislation to help the people of this country. They have all these bills in Congress that they're fighting over, that they're bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? But they're calling it a human infrastructure bill, but really what it is a Green New Deal disguised as a human infrastructure bill, where they're trying to give a path to citizenship for illegal immigrants. So even in that bill, you have more for illegal immigrants than you have for anybody else in this country. As a matter of fact, not only did Joe Biden not do shit for black people, he actually took away money from the HBCUs. They were supposed to get $33 billion or something like that. And he dropped it down to about $6 billion or something. You see what I'm saying? He's actually taking money away from black people, from black folks. Taking money away from programs that can help black people. Meanwhile, you got Howard University and other places. Their dorms look like trash. You know what I'm saying? Fucking phone calls, man. Like I was saying, these dorms got full of rats, mold, trash. You know what I'm saying? All that bullshit. But you want to sit up here and tell us that, we're not correct when we're saying he's not doing shit for black people. You taking money away from HBCUs. Even hell, let's look at the military. Let's even go there. Military barracks look like trash. Those buildings, the barracks buildings, trash. Even when I was in, trash, garbage, bathrooms nasty. Yeah, they built some new barracks on some basis, but they're not putting, you know what I'm saying? But they want to give upwards to $5 billion, $500 billion, or whatever it might be, to illegal immigrants. You know what I'm saying? And this chick, she's something else. I watched a couple of her other videos on her YouTube channel, and I know what it is. She's suffering from cognitive dissonance. She's not really thinking logically, because she is what she calls in the K-hive. The K-hive. Let me explain what the K-hive is. The K-hive is basically the fan base, or the fan group, or the people that ride or die for Kamala Harris. Okay? So she is a staunch, diehard supporter of Kamala Harris. And it makes sense. It makes sense that because this thing is attached to the Biden-Harris administration, you know, this money that they're trying to give away. See, they're never going to get on Kamala Harris or Joe Biden for the bullshit they're doing, because they're strongly in support of these people, blindly in support. And there's a lot of shit that she said, and she's very aggressive. She cusses people out, you know, on her videos and all this other shit. I cuss as well, which is okay, but it's kind of like personal attacks towards certain people, and you know, she's kind of like the female Amazing Lucas. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the Amazing Lucas completed his transition, he would turn into her. So anyway, so she's strong in the camp for Kamala Harris. She's a diehard Kamala Harris supporter. She goes on Roland Martin's show every week. She's on Roland Martin's show every week. Y'all know who he is, Roland Martin, Unfiltered, you know, that guy. And she basically accuses people that, like, especially black people that go against Kamala Harris. They're basically coons who, they're coon ass Trump supporters in so many words. But y'all know me. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not an independent. I am an anarchist. Point blank and period. I am a freedom lover, and you can't, if you're about freedom, you can't be in either camp, because they all want to strip you of your freedoms. So so this is what she is. She is in support of the United States government, a la Biden and Harris, giving $450K up to $1 million per family to illegal immigrants. Clearly. And she doesn't want to address the lack of reparations to black folks, because that's what they're getting. They're getting reparations. They're getting reparations for getting arrested for trying to cross into the border illegally and getting arrested. What happens when you get arrested? Well, you can't, like, it's true. You don't get arrested and get detained with your children or your family members. It doesn't happen like that. The children have to go into a different space, away from adults, so that they're safe. See what I'm saying? What are you supposed to, like, that's like saying anybody that gets arrested that have children in America, any American that gets arrested in America that have children, well, they could sue for separation anxiety from their children. So now, is that what we're saying? Is that the precedent we're setting? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I get arrested for shoplifting or robbing a bank and I do 10 to 15 years, and I've been separated from my family for 10 to 15 years, and I'm suffering and I'm in pain and I have mental distress because I'm separated, and so are my kids and my wife. So now I can sue the government for that and give me some money? Is that what we're saying? Yes. Listen, Miss Women's Worth, Women's Voice, Black women's views. Yes, we are aware it's a lawsuit. No, you know what I'm saying? Yes, we're aware it's a lawsuit. There have been multiple lawsuits for reparations, and let's say we launch another lawsuit against the United States government for reparations. They're still not gonna do shit. You can launch all the ones you want. Oh, we'll do a study. Oh, we'll do this. We'll do that. Barack Obama told your black ass, nah, we ain't doing reparations, Pippin. Bernie Sanders said, nah, we ain't doing no reparations around here, guy. And Kamala Harris, she said, no, we're gonna do extra. We're gonna give extra child credit, and black people will benefit from that. But we're not going to do anything specifically for black people. They won't even entertain the idea of doing shit specifically for black folks. At least Donald Trump was trying to give hundreds of billions of dollars, if you want to play the left-right paradigm game, to HBCUs. He had this platinum plan that would greatly benefit black people, even though it doesn't say specifically for black people, which, if you think about it from a strategic standpoint, all of his white supporters would be mad if they did it just for black people. But if black people are affected greatly in these certain areas that he's trying to improve, then they would greatly benefit. Biden ain't even trying to do that. They won't even do, in this infrastructure bill, they're not even trying to help the people. They're trying to spy on us and spy on our bank accounts if we spend so much money. At first they dropped it. Oh, they brought it in. Oh, $600 transactions. Oh, no, we're going to pull it out. Now they're trying to bring it back. Janet Yellen of the Biden administration, the Biden appointee, the treasurer, the head of the Treasury Department, or the Federal Reserve, wants to have everybody's in the country's bank accounts consolidated in the Federal Reserve. No more private banking. She wants to consolidate, and she wants to federalize everyone's bank accounts. But you ain't gonna talk about that, Miss Black Women's Views. How they're screwing the American people, but trying to uplift and give all this money and do everything they can in the world for these immigrants. And I broke down what these immigrants can do with all that money they're gonna get from the government. They're gonna buy up communities. They're gonna put up shopping strips. They're gonna own all the businesses that black people spend money at.
4 miles.
They're gonna form their own communities, and they're gonna benefit greatly from that money. The same shit that we could be doing if we got reparations. And this is my view. This is where I disagree with ABL. He don't believe in reparations. Well, I do. Because you can't say that, oh, well, there should be restitution if there's crime from one person to another. Well, the United States government owes, African descendants of slaves reparations, period, restitution. It was a crime against that group of people, and that would include anybody that was enslaved by the under the rule of the United States government. Where if you were Native American, if there were white slaves, if black people owned black slaves, everybody. If your family owned slaves, or if a corporation that benefited from slavery, they would owe the reparations. I don't agree with the people paying for the reparations. I don't believe it coming out in the form of taxes, but it could be done by getting the money from the corporations that benefit and the corporations that get all these government subsidies. They're not practicing capitalism. They're practicing crony corporatism. They're getting subsidized by the United States government vis-a-vis the American people. But these immigrants, they can just come up in here, get free room and board, get put up in hotels, get money, get credit for food and all this other shit. And then they're gonna get $450K, and we just supposed to be okay with that because black women's views loves Kamala Harris. There's another wild statement that she made, Black Women's Voices, and I hope she can produce some receipts on this. She accused people in America of getting paid to lie about SNAP injuries for the Modelo 19. Modelo 19 SNAP injuries. She's flat out said that, because of course she's pro-SNAP because Kamala Harris is pro-SNAP all of a sudden, even though she wasn't pro-SNAP during the Trump administration, right? Because those same SNAPs that were being expedited during the Trump administration, they're administering now and creating mandates for. Now she's pro-SNAP, but before she got elected, she was anti-SNAP. But anyway, let's continue on. She's accusing people here in the United States of getting paid by Russia to lie about adverse effects, so that I guess Russia's SNAP can be the leading SNAP. I don't know, whatever. Trying to create a disinformation campaign and all this other stuff. Why is she saying this? I don't know. I looked it up real quick. Couldn't find anything about that specifically. I did see something about Russia doing disinformation campaigns and ads and all this other shit on Facebook, but I didn't see anything about them paying people to lie about SNAP injuries and putting false SNAP reports out. SNAP injury reports. If she got some receipts, I'd love to see them. But that's a hell of a accusation right there. But anyway, this woman, I don't see how someone could support this, especially a United States citizen. I just don't get it. Like, why would you sit up here? Why is this a thing that you would do? Why would you go against other black people that have a problem with it and try to tear them down and try to make them look stupid when this is going to affect the black community the most, right? This is going to affect the black community the most because they're essentially trying to replace us with them, That's essentially what they're going to do. And they don't care if they're Mexican immigrants. They don't care if they're Haitian immigrants. Well, they do care if they're Haitian immigrants. Never mind. They were quick to get rid of a whole lot of Haitians. My bad. They're trying to replace us, man. And she's sitting up here caping like she had, like, come on, woman. Like, there's no, you cannot rectify that. You cannot reconcile that. In my mind, you can't even reconcile that in your own mind. That's why you said it wasn't reparations. When you know damn well it's reparations. It's reparations. That's just what it is. You cause criminal harm to somebody, and you got to pay for it. That's restitution, reparations, recompense, settling, whatever you want to call it. You want to call it settling? Okay. Well, that was a settlement. They had a settlement. The United States government had a settlement with the Africans, with the slaves, that they never paid. They said that we're going to give you this, that, and the third. And it doesn't matter if it's brought on by a lawsuit or not. That's irrelevant. It doesn't matter if it's brought on by a lawsuit or if the government, it doesn't matter. The fact that the Biden administration was so quick to say, yes, well, I know that these families were all asking for 3-point-something million a piece or whatever. Yeah, you settle down. Of course, you go down, you're going to settle. Yeah, of course. But the fact that, they're not like, well, let's do a study to see if we really need to give these immigrants money. No, they only need to do studies when it comes to giving black folks money. They don't need to do a study to give Pakistanis money for gender studies. They don't need to do a study to give Israel money for their little military defense program. No, they don't need a study for that. They just gonna do it. They don't need a study to give all these hundreds of billions of dollars to all these foreign nations, but they need to do a study to pay out reparations to African descendants of slaves. And listen, black folks are not the only people in this country that deserve reparations. Everyone, in my view, that has been subjected to the tyranny of this government deserves reparations. Yep. That means that if you've ever went to work and paid and made a paycheck, ever been extorted, ever been pulled over by the cops, ever had to live under the rule of this government, because we're all under some form of slavery at this point in time. It's just a more, the chains are looser. You know what I'm saying? The chains extend a little further. The chains aren't as tight. But we're all living under some form of slavery. So yeah, we all deserve black, white, purple, blue. It just so happens black folks, they need more of the reparations, because they had more damages. The Native Americans, they need hellified. I would even say maybe even more than black folks, because they were basically murdered out of existence in this country. The Native Americans were practically eradicated. And yes, they got trees and all this other shit, but they got these reservations in this crap land. You know what I'm saying? That it's just they're destitute for the most part. Oh yeah, they got the casinos and all that shit. Yes, they've been getting a little something going on, but they don't have any real power, right? They don't even have. They have one thing they do have. They have some form of sovereignty. But
next exit on the right and then left turn at the end of the road.
How strong and secure is that sovereignty? If at any point the government can say, you know what, fuck that treaty, let's go on over there and do what we want to do, right? That's essentially what happened with the pipeline in North Dakota, right? The Keystone Pipeline. Y'all remember that huge protest that went on for months and months and months, and they were blowing people's arms off with tear gas? Oh, well, it wasn't directly on the land, but it was affecting the water that the people of that land would get, right? So if the government can at any point strip you of your sovereignty without consequence, well, how much sovereignty do you have? Because in order to have sovereignty, no one can have power over you. if you have sovereignty of self, that means that you have the supreme power, supreme control over your own person. That means that no one else has that. So we don't even have individual sovereignty. The Native Americans, they don't have supreme sovereignty over their own land because the government has the means and the capability and the desire. If they had the desire, they just do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reality of it. So Native Americans, black folks, white folks, anybody that lives under the ruling thumb of the United States government, because the power was supposed to be in the people, right? There was supposed to be, implied consent, right? You're supposed to okay, we consent, the consent of the governed. The consent of the governed, meaning, okay, so we consent to be governed by you, but that doesn't mean that at any point we can't strip our power back from you. But see, the United States government and the bankers, they have it in their mind that, well, now we're beyond the consent of the governed. Now we're just governing because we want to govern and we don't give a fuck what you got to say. And that's the point we're at now. It's no longer the consent of the governed. It's just the governed being governed no matter what. You know what I'm saying? With or without our consent. With or without our consent, we're being governed. And that's not how it's supposed to work.
Slow traffic.
That's not voluntary. Right? If we can't opt out, that's not voluntary. That's no longer consent of the governed. We're just being governed. And so anybody that falls under that deserves some form of reparations. But the idea that this woman, and I don't know how many other black people or white people, any American citizen that call themselves American citizens, I don't understand how they could agree with this. How are you even, how could you, what set of balls must you have to sit up here and act like what the Biden administration is okay simply because you want to call it a lawsuit? Listen, those people came here for a better life, right? And they had that better life. They were separated from their children for what? And some of them weren't even their real children. A lot of people lied about that. We don't, you're not, come on. So, and what are they doing now when they arrest people crossing the border? Do they not separate? Are they detaining kids and adults together? What's going on with that now? So I just don't understand it. I don't understand how anybody that was born and raised in this country could be okay with this, right? When you're not even willing to give, or your government is not even willing to give you the money they owe you from all those years of extortion, from all the damage they caused to you by their destructive rule, all the wars that they forced us into. What about the families of the fallen soldiers in all these wars, all these banker wars? Where are their reparations? You know what I'm saying? What about the veterans that went to war, got limbs blown off? Yeah, they got some money, but damn, it would sure be nice if they got $1 million per family, wouldn't it? In some cases, they do get a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie about that. In some cases, for under certain circumstances, soldiers, veterans, they'll get, a few $1,000s a month, and they'll even get a lump sum of money, depending on how bad the injury is and all this other shit. So, yes, they do get some. They do get that, but there's so many hoops and loops that these veterans got to go through just to get paid. They have to jump through every hoop in the world to get compensated for the wounds they suffered during war. You know what I'm saying? They gotta fill this form out. They gotta go to this exam. They gotta go to that exam. They gotta go in front of boards, and they gotta. It's a lot of red tape. But these immigrants, yeah, they had to go through a lawsuit to get the attention of the administration. But oh my God, I just don't see it. I don't see any justification. I don't see any justification for anybody to go along with this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny too, because like ABL pointed out, at first she said it's not even fact yet, but then she goes on to explain the situation as if it's actually is fact. So she's just, and apparently she's some commentator. So she's a commentator, a political commentator, and she's riding with the left-right paradigm line. So at the end of the day, we know what that is: distract, deceive, and divide. And just keep us divided and fighting over stupid shit.
Proceed about 2
when
miles.
This is something that everybody should agree on, left, right. But the left-right paradigm is so strong that even this has to be divided. This has to divide the people. Everybody should be coming together on this. And you know what? The amazing clown shoe, Lucas, he actually disagreed with it. So that surprised me. He was, as a matter of fact, he was pissed. The amazing Lucas was pissed about the idea of the immigrants getting all that money. He was livid. So when people are right, I can point that out. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. So he was definitely hot about that. So yeah. But that surprised me. I thought he would try to, justify in some way these immigrants getting this money, but he didn't. You know what I'm saying? He was pretty livid about that. So yeah, that was interesting. Yeah. Well, Mark C, that's what we do, man. We attack each other. When we should be coming together to figure out how to break these chains, man. And I was watching Sean Baker's Dr. Sean Baker. I thought he was a freedom lover, because he does multiple videos a day, really short videos, talking about what's going on in the world right now, talking about the government coming after our freedoms. But then he goes on to talk about how we need to vote in local elections because that counts and this, that, and the third. I'm like, man, you were so close. You were so close, Sean Baker. Dr. Sean Baker was so close, but he had and now he's done it in like 2 or 3 videos today, talking about local elections, because there's a lot of local elections going on, governorships, state Congress and state Senate races. It's a voting day, and I'm like, man, these people get so close to the idea of freedom, but then they lose the plot. They lose the plot when they say, oh, you guys need to go out and vote. I'm like, oh my God. What are we doing when we vote, man? What are we doing when we vote? Even in local elections. I don't care if it's, the election of your house, who the leader of your house is. I don't care how local it is. I don't care if it's a goddamn city block elections. They're still operating under this constitutional republic. They're still beholden to the bankers. They're still beholden to the federal government to a degree because of the supremacy clause. Our state leaders back in the day saw it fit to sign us up for this central government system. And it doesn't matter how local you are, you're still beholden. You're still going to have, listen, listen, I get it, right? You think that your local council person, he's going to have more effect on your life. Yeah, and in some cases, things do turn around, right? Yeah, the people go up there and they make a lot of noise. They go to the city council meeting and they rah, rah, rah. And yeah, they might vote in favor of the people every now and then. But 2-3 months later, they can turn that vote right around. As long as these council people and these mayors and these governors are operating under this central government system, this central banking system, it really doesn't matter, man. You're still voting for a ruler. The way it works is, you know, they call them representatives, but they still pass laws without us, right? Without our input. They don't have to go with our input. They can just make a vote. They can vote on a measure. They can vote on a bill or an act that would greatly go against the people. And every move they make costs you money. Every move they make costs you money. Right? And if there's if they're not breaking your chains, if they're not if they're not putting their neck on the line and saying, yo, your local council person, let's say, or your local mayor, or your local sheriff, because sheriffs are voted in, just like they're kind of like the mayors of the county, right? You know, there's county mayors, county sheriffs are like basically the mayors of the fucking county, of that county strip or that county, whatever. Anyway, unless they're standing up and saying, I declare right now that we're going to break your chains. We're going to ensure that we free all of you guys. We're going to turn the police departments over to the people. We're going to sever our ties with the federal government. We're going to sever our ties with the IRS. We're going to sever our ties with the state franchise tax boards. We're going to sever our ties with all these people. You vote for me, which it shouldn't even matter, right? Vote for me, whatever. If you vote for me, I'll ensure as soon as I get in office that I give over my power to the people. I will declare every individual in my district or in my city or in my town or in my county. I'll declare every citizen within my county a free individual. You will no longer be a citizen. You will be a sovereign individual within this county, within this city. You will not be taxed. You will no longer be pulled over for little bullshit traffic infractions. You will no longer you will no longer be. We will end all gun control laws. We won't tax you any further. You can earn your paycheck. You won't get taxed for state or for local taxes and any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're doing that, I don't want to hear it. I don't really give a fuck about no local elections. And even then, they can talk all that shit. Oh, we'll sever our ties with the federal government. We'll sever our ties with the state government. We'll sever our ties with the IRS. All this, that, and the third. We will turn over power of the police to the people. You know what I'm saying? We will. You guys can go ahead and form your own militias or whatever you want to do. You don't even have to keep the people that are in that police department. You guys can do whatever you want with the resources given for that police department, for that fire department. Even if they did that, even if they said all that shit, they can become elected and not even do any of it. They can flat out lie to you about what they're going to do for you when they get in office. They don't have to do jack shit they told you they were going to do. At the risk, what's the biggest risk? What's the worst that can happen? Oh, they won't get elected again. But they'll have 2 years, 4 years of power in their hands. They don't have to do any of that shit they tell you they're going to do. And that's the point. Yeah, they talk a good game. Then you vote them into office and they do what the fuck they want. Unless you're ready to tear them down when they get in office, if they don't do what they say they're going to do, Unless you're willing to give them that a time frame. All right, you got elected. Your term starts January whatever. Okay, so you got 1 week from January 3rd or whenever the fuck it starts to do everything you said you're gonna do, or we're gonna come into your office and we're gonna remove you. And yeah, we're gonna do what we want to do anyway. And but we don't have the balls to do that. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna be like, oh man, he didn't do what we thought. Oh my God. Okay, let's go back to being sheep. We're not gonna and they know this. They know this. And mind you, anybody talking all that shit about breaking your chains, they're going to be, listen, no one's going to vote for them because these people are scared to be free. Most of these people, they're afraid. Most of the people wouldn't know what to do with sovereignty. They wouldn't know what to do with freedom. They wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't even know the first thing about self-sufficiency. So the odds are, yeah, some fringe individuals will vote for him, like myself. Well, I wouldn't vote. No, fuck that. I wouldn't vote for him. But I mean, anybody who's really about freedom are not going to vote for somebody like that. So it's not even a reality. This shit has to happen. The people have to step up and do this. And it takes real leaders to get up there. And I'm not talking about campaign artists. That's what these candidates are, campaign artists. I'm not talking about these campaign artists, these actors who say they're going to do shit. I'm talking about real leaders stepping up and making demands and creating real change.
The route guidance is now finished.
You know what I'm saying? It takes removing yourself from the system en masse. That's what it takes. But, you know, people have to see certain shit first. People aren't ready to make themselves, to be uncomfortable, to put themselves out there like that. You know, they need to see something. And hell, even with the Revolutionary War, everybody didn't step up. A lot of people just were like, okay, we'll go with whatever. You know, they went with whoever the winner was, basically. Most of the people during the Revolutionary War did not fight a lick. They did not even want to, they didn't want to have nothing to do with it. They were too afraid to die for their freedom. And so the strong minority, they stepped up and did what they had to do. You know, that's just the real, and that happens in every revolution. You know, it's usually like, except for the Haitian Revolution, damn near everyone in the Haitian Revolution, damn near everybody in the country participated in the Haitian Revolution. That was beautiful. Anyway, gotta go, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you hit that like button. Oh, let me see. I'll read a couple of y'all comments. What's up, Marcy T? Jimmy Nguyen. Black Spring or Autumn is in the building. Yeah, no more fool's gold. Exactly. Funny because, oh, peace, Lucas. You crazy, man. Hold on, son. There's no such thing as voting for the lesser of two evils. Exactly. Evils. Exactly. So anyway, much love, guys. Y'all know what it is. Hit that like button, share, and yeah, go check out Black Women Views, and just see what she talking about. She does a lot of reviews on like TV shows too. She does like you know, reviews on TV shows, and then she has a few videos, political videos. But I think she does a lot of her political shit on Instagram or whatever. All right, much love. Peace out. Let's keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.